Namaste. Let's begin. Namah Sundaranathaya Tasmai Halasyavasine Chatushrishtividha Leela Yenakari Bhuvastale Shrimat Sundaranathasya Devim Shapharalochanam Kalaye Hridaye Nityam Kadam Bhavanavasinim Putam Swataf Putataram Tato Yad Gangam Payash Shankaramuli Sangat Tatpatumataf Pranaya Paradha Padahatev Putatamam Tato Naha Tasmin Vishale Tarunendu Maulehe Avasa Bhutam Padam Adbhutanam Vanam Jagat Pavanamasti Kinchit Nipadrumanam Nikasha Vrishadrim. For the past 24 shlokas of the second Sarga, we started off with the description of Pandya Desha. Pandya Deshe Vahantyaha Tamraparnyaha Varnanamapi. We saw that also. So it's like after describing the river which contributes to the அது எப்படி சொல்ற தமிழ்ல வந்து செழிப்புன்னு சொன்னா அழகா இருக்கும். அதாவது வளம், மண் வளம். அந்த மண் வந்து that is the for the desha, for the country to be really prosperous, and you need a good water source. And that water source is a perennial river called Tamraparni, which contributes to the good crops and hence prosperous living for the people in the Pandya Desha. Now he moves on to our subject matter here in order to describe Shiva, who has taken up residence in that particular part of southern India. He describes a forest which is made of nipa trees, nipa or kadamba, both are the same. In Tamil also we have kadamba vanam, which is very close by, and the entire area of Madurai and its surrounding areas was supposed to be a forest which was Shiva's residence there. So tasmin vishale pandya deshe Tarunendu Maulehe Avasa Bhutam Shivasya Avasa Bhutatvena Suikritam Yat Kadambavanam Asti Tattu Vrishadrim Nikasha. Vrishadrihi, I have, in my opinion, I think it is the Alagar Malai, which is very close to Madurai. The Sundaraja Perumal, who is there in the Alagar Malai, he is also called Kallalagar. He gave Meenakshi to Sundareshwara in marriage. So he stood as the bride's brother. So it is natural for Nilakanta Dikshita to mention the Vasasthalam of the bride's brother here. So that's why I think he has mentioned Vrishadrim Nikasha. Puraneshu Tatra Vrishadrihi iti, it has been mentioned that Vrishabhadri or Vrishadri, both are the same. It's been mentioned even in Puranas. There is a small river called Nupura Ganga there. Apparently, when Bhagavan took Vishnu took the avataram of Vamana, and he pierced the Akasham with his big toe, and from that Padam came Ganga. Vishnupada Chuta Ganga. So that is one. And then the Nupuram, he was wearing Nupura anklets on his leg, and when that Nupuram, from that Nupura, a little bit of droplets fell down to the southern part. So imagine the space between his Padam, from the big toe to the Nupuram, how much is from where the Ganga perennially flows in the north to the Nupura Ganga, the droplets that drop down from his anklets, and that the Nupura Ganga is near Alagarmalai. I remembered reading it, so I wanted to mention that. Now near this mountain, Vrisha, there is a forest of Kadamba trees, which is the residence of Shiva. And because it is the residence of Shiva, Adbhutanam Padam. Chatushashti Leelaha Tatra Kritaha Asan iti Karanat Adbhutanam Leelanam Sthanam Tata iti Adbhutanam Padam. Pavanam, Jagat Pavanam, because all of the Leelas, Ishvara Leelaha Tatra Kritaha iti Karanat, Lokanamapi, Jananamapi, Tribhuvananamapi, Tatra Punyakarameva Sthalam Asit. Tadvanam. Now he goes on to describe this Vanam further. Ajnata Tigmamshu Karavamarsha, Chaya Yadiya Tamasam Vihantri, Vateritam Pushparajo Yadiyam, Nishesham Unmarshti Rajaf Prajanam. Tatu Nipadrumanam Vanam Asti. So Anvaya always goes back to every, just as how we saw the description of Tamraparani with Yat Shabda and connected it to the Tat Shabda earlier. In the same manner, Tatu Nipadrumanam Vanam Asti iti yat asmin Purva Shloke Drishtam Tadeva Tena Saha Anveti. Uttara Shlokaha. Ajnata Tigmamshu Karavamarsha Chaya Yadiya Yasya Nipa Vanasya Iyam Chaya. There are a lot of trees, you have shadow there underneath, but that shadow does not know the touch of Surya. Asuryam Pashyaha. So Ajnata Tigmamshu Kara Avamarshaha. Karanam Avamarshaha. Karanam Kirananam Suryasya Kiranaha, Suryasya Karaha ityukte tatra Kiranaha eva. His rays are his hands here. So Kara Avamarsha. Chaya does not know the touch of Surya's hand. Such an interesting idea that he is trying to bring out here. Chaya, who is Surya Patni, she was the one who was with the Surya, and their children were Yama, Yamuna, Kalindi, right? But here, Nilakanta Dikshita always has a very different way of expression, right? So, Ajnata Tigmamshu Kara Avamarsha Chaya. Yasya Nipa Vanasya Chaya Asti Yadiya Chaya. Ajnata Tigmamshu Kara Avamarsha. So, it has not experienced, does not know Ajnataha Kara Avamarshaha. Kasya Karanam Avamarshaha Ajnataha Tigmamshuhu, Tigmaha, Tikshnaha, Amshavaha, Kiranaha. The one who has very sharp rays, one who has intense rays is the sun and his Karaha. Tasya, so usually when you Amshu and Kara are actually the same meaning. When you take it to mean Surya's rays, but here you will take it as the touch of hand, Kara, of Surya who has intense rays. See, the way why he uses the word Tigmamshu is, it is so intense that definitely we will all feel it. When we go outside, when we are standing under the sun, the sun's rays are so intense, Tigmamshuhu, that we will definitely feel the touch. Right? It will be as if he is coming and touching us, right? When we use this expression in Tamil. So it means it is so intense that we can actually feel the rays coming and piercing us. Tadrisha tigmatvam vartate yadyapi tathapi chayayaha tu ajnyatatvam eva tatra. She does not know about the touch of this Surya. Tadrisha Chaya Idanim Kim Karoti Atra Nipavane Tamasam Vihantri. Chaya is a place, shadow is a place where there is darkness. But here he says there is no darkness. She removes the darkness. Chaya Tamasam Vihantri. Katham Ishat Prakashaha Prasarati Eva. There is a little bit of Prakasha, there is Chaya also, but at the same time, in that shadow, you're able to see. So, which means that shadow is not completely dark, but there is a light grayish tone, so you can see what is happening around you. But it's capable of removing the tamogunam in us. When there is shadow, you'll naturally feel like lying down and sleeping. It'll be so cool that too, if the sun's rays are intense outside of that shadow, then you will want to come to that chaya and sleep. Sleep is a guna of tamas. It is a reflection of, it points out to tamogunam in us. Now, this chaya is so cool that you will not feel like sleeping or doing anything, probably doing more sattva pradhana, dhyana yogyam, yogya chaya prayaha. Right? It will prompt you to do something more in accordance with the sattvic qualities and not in accordance to tamasic qualities. So, tamasam vihantri. Why? You have to go back to the earlier shloka. It is Shivasya avasa bhutam cha jagat pavanam cha tat nipavanam. That's why the qualities of that nipavanam is also very different. The shadow that is there, which is ignorant of the touch of sun's rays, it removes the tamas. That is, it removes darkness on one side and it removes the delusion or moha, tamasika moha yate vidyante, tanapi esha nashayati vihantri. Vihantri, the vihantum yogya, sheelam yasya. So nashayitri, one who can destroy the darkness or destroy the tamas that is there in that nipavanam. Next one is, no, if only tamogunam is gone, you cannot be sattva pradhana. You need rajas also to be removed. Now the next one is more interesting. This thing he says, vateritam pushparajaha yadiyam pushparajaha vateritam pushparajaha prajanam rajaha nishesham unmarshti. Now he uses rajas to remove rajas. So one rajas is makaranda, the pollen grains of the flowers that are there are removing the rajas or any activity that are there in the people around. So vateritam, vata iritam vatena niyamanam. Irita is prompted. So the pollen grains that of flowers, pushpa rajaha yadiyam, whose yasya vanasya pushpanam rajaha makarandam tattu vata iritam vatena vayuna iritam. It has been sent by preshitam. So it has been sent by the winds that are there in the nipavana. What does this pollen grains do? Usually it should make a person very dusty. If you're talking of the pollen grains that come and fall on people, it will make them all dusty. But here he says that rajas removes the rajas. It removes the dhuli from people. So you take it as they do not have any activity also. They do not sleep also. But at the same time, they just sit down and probably it is a place like how he described before, it is a place where Muni sages do not want to leave at all. Even though it increases the manobhava in people, it increases kama or manmatha feelings in them, but still they do not want to let go of this place because it is yogyam for practices like tapas. And it removes both the rajas and tamas. Tarihi prajaha sattva pradhanaha bhavanti. Okay. Now, vayuna iritam vateritam pushparajaha prajanam rajogunam nishesham without any remainder, completely rajaha dhuli rupam rajogunam unmarshti ityukte unmarjayati. It completely wipes away. So this is the quality of tamas is to just himsa pradhanam, or you can say it is moham. Any activity that has caused, that can come about because of moha, because of delusion, is called tamas. And that which is that which causes a lot of passion and activity is rajas. Yattu kama ipsuna karma sahankarena vapunaha kriyate bahulayasam tad rajasam udahritam. So rajasic karma is defined in Gita as that work, that kriya, karma, which is kama ipsuna karma sahankarena punaha kriyate bahula ayasam. It needs a lot of effort from the person, and it is driven by desire, kama, and it's also driven by ahankara. So that sort of a rajasic quality is completely removed here. Yataha shivasya vasasthanamatra iti karanat tatra rajah pradhanam purushaha na vidyante sattva pradhana purushaha eva santi. And then tamasam apahantri chaya. There is actually a virodhalankara here. Rajasa rajo apanayanam is not possible, right? If you can't take dust and remove dust, that is not possible. So rajasa rajo apanayanam iti virodhaha. In order to remove that virodha pariharam, you use shlesha. You explain, you have to give the second meaning for rajas and take it as rajo gunasya eva apanayanam tatra natu rajaha dhulihi iti. So dhuli, pushpa dhuli nam karyam atra rajo guna apanayanam eva. So this is a typical example of virodha alankara or virodha abhasa alankara. It seems as if there is a virodha. In the same way, chaya tamasam vihantri atapa rahitaya chayaya tamo apanayanam api, it is not possible. That is also a virodha there, because when there is no sunlight, there should be darkness. You cannot remove darkness from there. And the samadhanam you give there is tamo guna apanayanam. So virodha iva abhasate kintu tatra sakshat virodha nasti. Slesha rupena slishta padarthanam padarthana upayujya tatra virodhasya pariharaha kriyate. What is the dhvani from this is Pandya Desha Prajaha, the people, the subjects of the Pandya Desha are all have a sattvic quality in them. Right? Ajnata tigmamshu karavamarshāha chaya yadiya tamasam vihantri vateritam pushparajo yadiyam nishesham unmarshti rajaf prajana. If you have any questions, please wait till the end. The next one is Antar Nilina Brahmaraihi Prasunaihi Abhati Yadbadha Rajobhirishat Satvena Nirjitya Rajastamascha Samurchitena Iva Samantatopi. Kavi has gotten this idea that Sattva and Rajas are completely gone. Rajas and Tamas are completely gone, and Sattva Pradhanaha Prajaha Tatra. Tadvanamapi Satvena eva virajate. The entire vanam seems to be shining with a lot of sattva guna. Now that is also he wants to continue that thread of sattva guna in the next shloka also, and he says now the other idea here he presents is there are a lot of flowers, right? That's what we saw in the earlier shloka also, pushparajaha. There are a lot of flowers there. And those flowers are very sweet smelling. So a lot of bees are attracted towards those flowers. And they are constantly residing inside those flowers and they do not want to get out. So pushpanam sugandhena akrishtaha bhramaraha tatraiva vasanti na bahiragachanti. So what he is trying to, that is one portion, which is a comparison to tamoganam. I'll come to that, why it is tamoganam. Antar nilina brahmaraihi prasunaihi. Prasuna, prasunaha, kusumaha, kusumani. So prasunam or prasunaha, it's both masculine and napunsakam, I think. I forgot to look at that. I think it is prasunam napunsakalingam. Sorry. Yeah. So prasunani, prasunaihi. So kusumani, pushpani. Tatra antar nilina brahmara. Inside it, all the brahmara, the bees are all completely hidden inside it. Antar nilina brahmaraihi prasunaihi. Tat vanam, yat vanam. Samantataha api abhati. In all direction, it has a lot of flowers and so it shines on all sides. So samantataha api, samantataha paritaha api, yat vanam pushpaihi abhati, prasunaihi abhati. It is shining, rajate pushpaihi. It is shining on all sides with flowers. Now, how are these flowers? One is antarnilina brahmaraihi. The first visheshanam he says is antarnilina pushpasya sugandhena akrishtaha bhramaraha tatra antaha madhye pushpanam madhye eva nilinaha santi. They hide themselves inside the flowers. The next is ishat baddha rajobihi. The pollen has just started and the pollen cannot come outside now because these bees have all stopped the spreading of the pollen. So baddha rajobihi, baddha ityukte tatra bandhi kritam iti ekah arthaha, anyattu baddham antargatam, dhritam. So there is the flowers have pollen, it has pollen. It is also slightly suppressed pollen because these bees have come and stood there and they are not moving out of those flowers. They want to continuously drink the nectar that is there in that flower. Right? So, ishat slightly, baddha rajobihi, the rajas, the pollen grains have been slightly suppressed and they are there. Bahif prasarana shaktani na santi, rajamsi. So they cannot move out and spread everywhere else. Now what happens? Brahmara is dark in color. So it is like tamas. Rajas, of course, with the double meaning of the word rajas, that is the rajogunam. Both of these are now inside the flowers and they have no way of spreading out of the flowers. So what is remaining there? Sattvam. Rajas tamascha nirjitya, after winning over, conquering rajas and tamas, rajas in the form of the pollen grains in the flowers and tamas in the form of bees, which are all permanently stuck to those flowers because they are attracted to the flowers. And they have also suppressed the movement of pollen grains everywhere. There is rajas tamascha nirjitya, after conquering rajas and tamas, sattvena, sattvagunena, samantataha api, paritaha api, gatam. It's like these flowers are like sattvaguna because they are white flowers. In the next shloka, I think he is going to talk about, now 2 shlokas later, he will talk about those flowers as being white in color. So because these colors are very white in color and it looks, the flowers are very white and it also looks very beautiful. There is a soft quality to the flowers and only that is seen. The Brahmara, which is a representative of tamas, is also not seen outside. The rajas, pollen grains, which is like our rajasic quality, that is also not seen outside. Tarhi sattvameva tatra drishyate. Sattvena murchitena iva, sammurchitena ityukte vardhitena. So it is as if the whole forest has been vardhitam. It has increased. The sattva quality has been increased because it has conquered the rajas and tamas here. And because of that sattva quality, this vanam is shining. So how is the anvaya going on? Sattvena vanam abhati iva vartate. It is as if the vanam is shining with sattva guna. It is actually shining with a lot of flowers. So prasunaihi yat vanam abhati tat nipadrumanam vanam asti. So prasunanam atra, first he gives 2 adjectives. One adjective is antarnilina brahmaraihi. It has bees hidden within inside. And then ishat baddha rajobihi is the second visheshana. Slightly suppressed pollen. Kinchit tatra antargata makarandaihi. Yataha makarandanam bahif prasarana shaktihi nasti. Makarandanam brahmaraihi tatra antaha eva baddhaha santi baddhani santi rajamsi. So it is difficult for them to go out. Now these are the 2 visheshanas for prasuna. There is one utpreksha that he gives, which is the flowers are like sattvaguna. Rajas tamascha nirjitya Sammurchitena sattvena iva. These flowers are looking like sattva guna, which has been increased after conquering rajas and tamas. The moment you overcome rajas and tamas, automatically sattva guna will start increasing. You don't need to do anything specifically for sattva guna to increase in your mind. The moment you start attacking the enemies, right, then automatically we don't need to give nourishment to the tree. If we, as long as we protect it and see to it that nothing comes and attacks it, no pests are coming, then it is fine. Tattu swabhavenaiva vardhate eva. Tatha atrapi sattvagunasya vardhanantu katham kriyate rajastamo nirjayena jayena eva tatra sattvam swabhavataya eva varditam bhavati. You don't need to do anything specifically there, right? So sattva, these flowers are like sattva quality, which has been increased because of conquering rajas and tamas. Tadrisha prasunaihi, with like those flowers, samantataha api etat vanam abhati tadrisham nipadrumanam vanam tatra pandideshe vidyate. Okay. So antarnilinaihi, this is an utpreksha here. Is very clear. Sammurchitena iva. It is as if it has been increased by sattva quality. So antarnilina brahmaraihi prasunaihi abhati yat baddharajobhirishat sattvena nirjitya rajastamascha sammurchitena eva samantatopi yatrabhishinchanti madhuksharanto vriksha bhuvam murtimiva ashtamurtehe jhankurvate karna rasayanani samani gayanta iva dvirephaha. The scene that he gives in this shloka itself, it is beautiful to imagine here. There are trees there, vrikshaha, madhu ksharantaha, they are constantly pouring madhu, honey, constantly pouring, they are drizzling nectar from their flowers. So in the earlier shloka, we saw pushpaihi samantataha, paritaha api bahuvidhani pushpani santi, sugandhini pushpani cha santi iti purvasmin shloke uktam. Tarhi pratikshanam tebhyaha pushpebhyaha madhu ksharati, sravati. So there is constant drizzling of nectar there from the different flowers that are there in the forest. Vrikshaha madhu ksharantaha. Now what are they doing? It seems as if they are doing madhu abhishekam to the bhumi. Okay, so bhuvam abhishinchanti iva. It seems as if they are doing abhishinchanti to the earth. Now what is this earth? Ashtamurtehe murtim bhuvam. Ashtamurtehe Shivasya Ashto Murtayaha Santi. There are 8 different forms for Shiva, and Bhumi is one of the forms. Now, the 8 different forms are, there are not much references for this. This is supposed to be in Bhavishyat Puranam. I still have to look for where the quotation is in the Purana as such, but this is there in the Purana, and this has been given by Kale in his commentary for Shakuntalam, because Shakuntalam starts off with the shloka which describes all the 8 shariram of Tanu, 8 Tanu of Shiva. Ya srishti srashturadya vahati vidhutam ya haver ya cha hotri ye dve kalam vedattaha shruti vishaya guna ya sthita vyapya vishram yaya praninav pranavantaha pratyakshabhiv prapannastanubhiravatu vastabhir ashtabhirishaha. I'm not sure about the third line. You can look it up in Shakuntalam. It is the Shakuntalam. It is the first Dhyana Shloka of Abhijnana Shakuntalam, where Kalidasa describes the 8 different forms of Ishvara. The forms are the Panchabhutam, and then you have Surya, Chandra, and Yajamana. Yajamana is a representation of the Jiva. So there are Panchabhutani, Prithvi, Appa, Tejo, Vayu, Akasham. And then you have Surya, Chandra. The last one is Yajamana. Yajamana is the Hota, one who performs the Yaga. Shiva is worshipped as being of the 8 forms. Imagine all of the things that you see in the world, if you can see it as Shiva, it's the best form of dhyanam. No? On a macro level. On a micro level, you can think of each and every part of your body as the entire world also. Like the Chakshu Suryo Ajayata, if you look at Purusha Suktam, from his eyes came the Surya. So which means you are looking at Surya as the eye. And inside your body also, you can look at each and every part that is there in the world as a part of your body also. These are all Sukshma Dhyanam and Sthula Dhyanam. Now in the Sthula Dhyanam, Sharvaya Kshiti Murtaye Namaha. Kshiti Murti, one who is of the form of Bhumi, is known as Sharva. All of these are Shiva's names. And Sharva indicates, when you say Sharva, it means you are thinking of him as Kshiti, as the Bhumi. Bhavaya Jalamurtaye, Jalamurti, and then Agni Murtaye, Rudraya Agni Murtaye Namaha. So Bhumi, Prithvi, up, Tejas, and then Vayu, Ugraya Vayu Murtaye Namaha. Bhimaya Akasha Murtaye Namaha, 5. Then Pashupataye Yajamana Murtaye Namaha. Pashupati is Yajamana Murti. Yajamana is a person who performs the yagas. It is a representation of all the prani, and hence you call him as Pashupati. Pashunam Patihi. Pashuhu ityukte Pranayah Jivaha. Jivaha eva Pashavaha Shaiva Siddhante. Tatra Jivanam Patirupena Saha Shivaha Prarthyate. Iti Karanat Pashupatihi eva Yajamana Murti Rupena Tatra Prarthyate. Mahadevaya Somamurtaye Namaha. Ishanaya Suryamurtaye Namaha. These are the 8 forms of Shiva. Now, Bhumi becomes one of the 8 forms of Shiva. This is very similar to what Kalidasa takes in his Kumarasambhavam. Swameva Murtyantaram Ashtamurtihi Agni. Sakritivasas tapase yatatma, not in that shloka. I think it is. Tatragni madhaya samit samiddham swameva murtyantaram ashtamurtihi. Ashtamurtihi, Bhagavan Shivaha, swameva murti antaram, murtyantaram, anyam murtim, another form of his own, which is Agni. Agnim adhaya samit samidham. He puts samit inside it, and then he does yagam there. Swayam vidhata tapasaf palanam. Anybody does a yaga, you ask for palan from somebody else, but here Shiva is the person who gives results and fruits to everybody, but he himself is performing a tapas there. This is in Kumarasambhava, where he talks of Murtyantaram as Agni there. Now, Nilakanta Dikshita takes that clue from Kalidasa, and he talks of Bhumi as a Murtyantaram in this shloka. Now, when these trees are all pouring nectar, they seem to as if do Abhishekam to Bhumi, which is one of the 8 forms of Shiva. Ashtamurtehe Shivasya Anyatamam Murtim, Anyatamam Murtim Bhuvam Bhumim Abhishinchanti Iva. Abhishinchanti, Abhishekam Kurvanti Iva Santi. Now, when you are doing Rudrabhishekam, you need Veda Ghosham there. It is a must. Right? Bhagavad Abhisheka Samayetu Veda Goshaha Prasiddhaha Eva. Tatrapi Shivaha tu Samagana Priyaha. In Shiva Rahasyam, Samagana Priya Shuddhaha Prashantatma Sthiraha Prabhu. Shiva is called as Samagana Priyaha. Samagana Lolaha. So we need Samaganam when Abhishekam is being done for Shiva. Jankurvate. The next part is who is doing this Samaganam for Shiva. It is the bees that are all humming around. They are musically saying. So in the 4 Vedas, Rig Veda has Rik. The verses in the Samaveda are called Saman. Usually they take 90% of the verses from Rig Veda, but they are sung in a different manner. They're actually sung, not recited. That's why we say Samaganam. So Atrapi Dvirephaha Brahmaraha Samani gayantaha iva jhankurvate. Samani, Samavedasya richaha gayantaha iva, de ganam kurvantaha iva jhankurvate. They are making a sound, kujanti. They are making some sort of a, so jhankurvate actually is a onomatopoeic word. That is, it is, it imitates the sound of jham. When you keep hearing the sound of bhramara, it is the jhankurva, the humming is very similar to jham, the sound jham. So jham iti avyakta shabdam. Tatra vyaktatvam nasti. You cannot discern it and say that this is the word that the bee is using. So it is an avyakta shabda, that which you cannot clearly distinguish and say. So it is just a sound. So tadrisha jam iti shabdam kurvanti dvirephaha kujanti iti yavat. So dvirephaha samani gayantaha iva jhankurvate. When this vriksha madhu abhishekam is happening, the bees are all making a humming sound, and it seems as if they are doing samaganam. Now this samaganam, how they are doing that jhankara, there is the visheshana here is karna rasayanam. Now this rasayanam is a very unique word that he uses, karna rasayanam. The sound of the bees are like sweet, rasayanam is oshadhi. It's like an oshadhi to the shirotra. This, because we have heard so much of outside non-spiritual things, the ears are all abde ranama irukku. It is wounded because of the things that we hear, which is completely not healing to the soul. So if you want to hear something that is healing to the Atma, you need to listen to a lot more of Veda Ghosha. So this Dvirepa sound, which is Avyaktam, which you don't need to pay attention to because there is no meaning to it. For the words that are there in the world, you have to pay attention and you get the meaning. Then it wounds your soul. You are upset about what you are hearing or not, whatever. So then it becomes very detrimental to your health. Whereas the sound of bees is natural. The sound of nature is always natural because you don't need to pay attention to it. You just let it flow inside you. Just for a few minutes, if you just listen to the sounds of the nature, it is very healing. In that way, it is a karna rasayanam. Rasayanam iti padasya. Ayurveda tatra, there is a definition for rasayanam. Yat jara vyadhi vidvamsi vayasaha stambakam tatha chakshusham brahmanam vrishyam bheshajam tad rasayanam. In Bhava Prakasha, which is an Ayurveda text which gives definition for a lot of things, in the Rasayana Adhikara, the first shloka is this: Yat Beshajam, that medicine which destroys Jara and Vyadhi. Jara, old age, Vyadhi, disease. Any medicine that can destroy old age, if we can find this Rasayanam today, then people will be elated. Because anything that has a label as defying old age, then immediately we buy that medicine, right? So Jara Vyadhi Vidvamsi, it destroys both old age and Vyadhi. Vayasaha Stambakaha, it stops your aging process. Chakshushyam, it gives you clear vision. Brahmanam, it also gives you pushti, nourishment. Vrishyam, it increases activity in you. So tadrisham bheshajam rasayanam iti uktam. That's the definition for rasayanam. Now this karna rasayanam, it's a healing in some way or the other. The sound of nature is a healing for us. So dvirepaha karna rasayanani jhankurvate. Tetu yatha karna rasayanam bhavati tatha jhankurvate. It's a kriya visheshanam here, or you can say, yeah, I think that is better. So samagana pakshetu veda mantra shravanena karnadvara jaravyadhi nivarayanti iti prasiddhameva. So veda gosham increases your age, and it also improves your better health. See, there are in particular, in Rig Veda, there is a suktam called Akshi Suktam. Akshibhya Suktam or something like that, which talks of all the different parts in our body, and you hear continuously, then it increases your it repairs the different parts in your body. Actually, it is very helpful, very healing suktas are there in Rigveda, because the tone and the way in which it is recited, it has an effect in some way or the other. There is research today that music and Veda Gosham has an effect in the body, right? So, karna rasayanani samani gayantaha iva dvirephaha karna rasayanani jankurvate. You take that karna rasayana to mean both. One is, it is an adjective for sama. They sing verses from Samaveda, which is like rasayanam. Rasayanam, you can call it as elixir. Rasayanam to the ears. And these bees are also humming in such a manner that it is like a rasayanam for us, for our ears. Okay. So, Bhagavad Abhishekastu atra samaganena sahitam vidyate. Yatra abhishinchanti madhuksharantaha vrikshabhuvam murtimiva ashtamurtehe jankurvate karna rasayanani samani gayantaha iva dvirephaha. This is also an utpreksha. There are two utprekshas here. One is abhishinchanti iva. It is as if the trees are doing the abhishekam themselves. So that is one utpreksha. It is separate. So there has no connection with this. And then dvirephaha samani gayanti iva. Gayantaha iva santi. So that is also another utpreksha. So there are two utprekshas which are totally separate. So it is samsrishti here. Next one. It's another beautiful shloka. Vakrani yasmin muni padapanam abhanti pushpani ati nirmalani samahritaha mukti jusham pradatum shashanka khandaha iva shankarena. There are trees called muni padapa, muni trees. Okay, so muni padapaha, this muni taru, there are a lot of these muni tarus in the forest, in the Kadambana. The muni tree has been translated as Purasamaram, which is Palasha, but dictionaries call it as some scientific name, they give it as grandiflora or something, but that seems to be more in connect with this, with the description that is there in this shloka. The flowers that are there in that tree, Muni Padapanam Pushpani, Kadam Santi Vakrani. They are a little kutilam. They are not straight, beautiful flowers. They are like this small crescent moon. Vakrani. Ati Nirmalani. They are just clear white flowers. Okay. So, Ati Nirmalani, just like the crescent moon that is there on Shiva's head. So, Yasmin Vane, Yasmin Nipavane, Muni Padapanam, it is also called Agatti Maram in Tamil. Agastya Namaka Tarunam. So coincidental that he should talk about these Agastya trees, and the flowers in them are also like the crescent moon, Chandrakala. So Muni Padapanam, Agastya Tarunam, Pushpani, Vakrani, Kutilani, Ati Nirmalani. They are like crescent moon because the crescent moon does not have that dark spots in it. It doesn't have the mriganka. Okay, so akalushita, ati nirmalam. It has no spots on it also. Tadrishani pushpani yasmin abhanti. Yasmin vane abhanti rajante tat nipadrumanam vanam asti anvayaha. Okay. Now, why does he describe these flowers? He gives a beautiful utpreksha here. He says those little flowers are looking like small pieces of moon that Shankarena samahritaha. Shankarena, Parameshwarena, samahritaha, sanchitaha. Slowly, Shiva has collected a lot of these small pieces of moon because he wants to give it to people who want moksha. Mukti jusham pradatum. mukti jusham, mukti jut, jush, muktim jushante sevante, athava muktim ye icchanti te mukti jushaha. So those who love mumukshuhu, so those who want moksha or those who are going to attain moksha, so for them, tesham pradatum, in order to give to them, Shankarena, Shivena, Sanchitaha, Samahritaha, Shashanka Khandaha iva, Shashanka Chandraha, Chandra Shakalaha iva, Tani Pushpani Santi Vane. Now, what is this Mukti and Chandrakala? Moksham is of many types, right? So you can have Sarupyam, Samipyam, Sayujyam. Now, Sarupyam is one form. So there are steps in the moksha in Shaiva Siddhanta. Sarupya is one thing. Sarupyam is you attain a form very similar, the same form as that of the Devata that you are doing dhyanam on. Okay, so the Lord who is being meditated upon, if you think of Shiva constantly, then you will slowly start, mukti is sarupyam, in the sense you will have the samana rupam. Samana rupasya bhavaha sarupyam, sarupaha, sarupasya bhavaha sarupyam. So you will have the same form as Bhagavan. So now Shiva has to give mukti to so many people who are doing tapas like the trees. Muni padapanam mukti jusham. Why have they taken the form of trees? Apparently, those sages who want to continue doing tapas and they do not want to be disturbed, they will go and become like a tree in some forest, it seems. And they will keep on praying to the Lord because they want moksha and they don't want any other worldly disturbances. So, munayaha eva atra padaparupena vidyante nipavane tarhi kidrisha punyasthalam vartate. Right? So it must be so much of a sacred place that even rishis have taken the form of trees. It's the poet's way of looking at it also, with of course a backing of philosophy Vedanta. So Muni Padapanam Mukti Jusham, those who want moksha, Tesham Krite Pradatum, Tebhyaha Arpayitum, Shankaraha, Sarvatra, he is roaming around to find out Chandrashakala, and he has placed it on this path, on this trees. It's because each person who wants to become like Shiva, who wants to attain the Shiva Sarupyam, needs to have that Chandrakala, because that Chandrakala is the distinctive factor to show that he is Parameshwara. So Vakrani Yasmin Munipadapanam, in where the crooked flowers and pure flowers of the Muni trees, Munipadapanam Pushpani Ati Nirmalani Vakrani Cha Yatra Vartante, Yetu Yanitu Shankarena Samahritaha Shashanka Khandaha Iva Santi Mukti Jusham Pradatu. In order to give to the rishis who are all who want to attain moksha or sarupya, the state of being in the same form as the Lord, for them he wanted to give pieces of moon, and he collected all of those from this place. So it seems as if he has collected and placed it in shelves, waiting to give them. So Vakrani Yasmin Muni Padapanam Abhanti Pushpani Ati Nirmalani Samahrita Mukti Jusham Pradatum Shashanka Khandaha Iva Shankarena. The next one, maybe I'll do it in the next class. Any questions? If there are no questions, then I'll teach one more shloka. Okay. The next one is Sampuryamanat Prati Paurnamasam Shakhagra Sanghattanataha Avadhutat Mriganka Bimbat Galita Iva Urvyam Mrigaha Shatam Yatra Paribhramanti. Yatra Yasmin Vane Shatam Mrigaha Paribhramanti. There are hundreds of deer roaming around. Yatra Yasmin Vane Yasmin Nipavane Shatam mrigaha urvyam bhumyam paribhramanti atanti. There are hundreds of deer roaming on the grounds of this Nipa forest. Now, why are there? Kavi, again, he does an utpreksha here. He's imagining that these are all Mriga. So, you know that moon has the name of Shashanka or Mrigankaha. Mrigankaha ityukte tasya chandre paurnamasyam yada vayam pashyamaha tatra there is a kalanka, and that kalankam looks like a rabbit. Sometimes it looks like a deer. So we call the moon as Mriga, Mrigasya Ankaha yasya vidyate. So one who has the chinnam of a Mriga or one who has the chinnam of a Shasha, rabbit. So Mriganka Bimbat, and the poet imagines that every time the full moon happens, every month there is a Paurnamasi, Prati Paurnamasam, every full moon day, it slowly keeps filling up. Sampuryamanam. Each day the Chandrakala grows and grows, and it keeps filling into a full moon. And then what happens is it goes and hits or rubs against the top portions of the trees. Now the trees in that forest are so tall that when you look from here, it seems as if the moon gets stuck onto those trees, the tops of the branches. Shakha agra sanghatanataha, sanghatanat, gharshanat, because of rubbing against the tops of the branches on every full moon day. Prati Paurnamasam, Paurnamasyam, just like Dine Dine iti Pratidinam. In the same way, this word is also found Prati Paurnamasam, every full moon day. What happens? Sampuryamanam. Sampuryamanat, Mriganka Bimbat, Avadhutat, Mriganka Bimbat, Galitaha. Now these are all this, the Panchami Vibhaktyam Yani Padani Vidyante Tetu Mriganka Bimbasya Visheshana Rupena. So Sampuryamanat, Prati Paurnamasam Sampuryamanat, that which is being filled, that which fills out every full moon day. And then it goes and gets stuck or it rubs against the branches. So it is shaken. The moment it rubs against the branches, the moon is shaken, it seems. So Avadhuta ityukte kampitam. So kampitat mriganka bimbat. Katham kampanam vidyate tatra sanghattanat shakhagreshu gharshanat kampitaha mriganka bimbaha. The disk of the moon, Mandalam, Chandramandalam, is shaken because of Sanghattana, rubbing against the tops of the branches, Shakha, Agreshu. Kampitat. Now, when it is shaken, what happens? Every Paurnami day, one Mriga falls down from the moon, it seems. Galitaha, Mrigaha, Galitaha, slipping out. When this moon goes and rubs against the branches, the Mriga falls out. So it means after that you see the moon coming down into Amavasya, and you find that the Kalankam is slowly vanishing. So it means each of those, every month one Mrigam must have fallen, and over centuries there are so many hundreds of animals that are roaming around, it seems. So Sampuryam Yatra Yasmin Vane Prati Paurnamasam Sampuryamanat Shakha Agra Sanghattanataha Avadhutat Kampitat Mriganka Bimbat Chandramandalat Galitaha Iva Chyutaha Dhavitaha. So they have been made to run away from the moon. Right? They've been made to fall. They slipped out of the moon's disk, Chandramandala. And they are running around, roaming around in the forest's grounds. So Mriganka Bimbat Galita Iva Urvyam Mriga Shatam Yatra Paribhramanti. This is also an Utpreksha. It's called Swarupa Utpreksha. So the Utpreksha here is the deer Mrigaha Galitaha iva, Galitaha mrigaha, Chandrabimbe ye mrigaha vartante, te tu ankarupena eva. That is like a crater only, no? That is not a real mriga. That's not a real deer. But the poet is imagining that the animals that are roaming around in the forest, the deer that is roaming around in the forest is the deer that has fallen every month from the moon. Sampuryamanat prati paurnamasam shakhagra sanghattanataha avadhutat mriganka bimbad galita iva urvyam mrigashatam yatra paribhramanti. Okay. I think we'll stop with this. This will take some time. The next one will take some time. So I'll stop with this shloka. Any doubts? Okay. Then we'll meet next week. Namaste. Thank you.